What is going on? My name is Dark Cinema, and welcome back to the RWBY Volume 4 series review. Today we're going to be looking at RWBY Volume 4, Chapter 3, titled of Runaways and Stowaways. I was going to say Orphans and Runaways, don't know why. It's called Of Runaways and Stowaways. This is a very Blake heavy episode, but Yang also does have a few prominent moments in it, and it does extend the character development for both characters, and I absolutely love where they're going with Yang. I love what they're doing with Blake, and I am so anxious to see where they're going to take these two characters because I'm just so damn excited for where we're going, where we're heading, and I'm just guys, this is a very emotional episode. We start off with Blake on a ship. First of all, again, huge props to the animation department. The background characters look fantastic. The ship looks fantastic. The water looks fantastic. And even, again, I harp on this, but it's amazing. It's the lighting. The lighting and shadow effects for this series have improved so much. And I absolutely love it. You can tell just the tiny little details of the clothing moving and subtly in the wind. You got the facial hair of the men. You have just even the eye movements, because what I noticed is that when Blake is reacting in this episode, when she's emoting, you can clearly tell there's a more dynamic range of facial expressions that she's been able to give as opposed to volumes 1 through 3, and it's worked so well. So it's great to see just that range of emotion just from her alone. That was a highlight for me in this episode. So well done to the animation team for Blake. So fantastic. So we start with Blake talking to the captain of the ship. She's obviously paranoid, a fact which she heavily disputes. But we see her on the ship. We learn later where she's going, but for now, what we see her do is she takes off the bow and drops it into the ocean, essentially saying she's not going to need it anymore. And we're assuming this is going to be a very long voyage. I'm assuming we're going to find land within the next 2 episodes that we see Blake. And the camera pans over, and we see a hooded figure watching Blake and following her on the ship, but not before we pan out to see a very ominous-looking fin in the water, a la Jaws. Then we get probably my favorite segments of this episode, which is Yang's segments. We start with Yang sitting on the couch in Tai Yang's home. She's clearly not left within the 6 months that she's been there, and through this exposition, we get to see what has happened in the 6 months. Beacon is still inaccessible, no matter what the huntsmen and huntresses have been able to do. There is a standing order that unless it's an evacuation, there is no air transport between the countries, which is going to make things difficult for RWBY and her team. The CCT is still down in Remnant, and also we got at least Yang got a little start when she saw that Adam Torres was confirmed to be the leader of the White Fang, was there at Beacon. That was more for everyone else's sake, but now she recognizes who that is. And to everyone saying it, we finally got it. Tai Yang comes home with a gift for Yang, and it is a robot arm, state-of-the-art, from Atlas. We find out that this was sent as a gift from General Ironwood. Ironwood had this specially made for Yang, so I am really, really digging the look of it. However, the color needs to be made yellow and black. Come on, people. We need that. We need to have this arm. Unfortunately, though, Yang doesn't really take a shine to it, whether or not she seems to be just out of it. Even the way she talks, look at the way she's talked in past volumes. She's had a very upbeat attitude, and now she's just totally destroyed. Even looking at the arm for the first time, her face, it's very subtle, but it's just her face. She just doesn't look like she's even there. It doesn't look like that spark is there inside of her anymore. And it's crushing to see it. And it was made all the more crushing when you look at her father, and her father, Tai Yang, is so hopeful. He's so optimistic about trying to help his daughter. And just to see her like this absolutely destroys him on the inside. And again, props to Barbara Dunkelman and for Bernie Burns for Yang and Tai Yang respectively for their incredible work with this, because it's not like all chipper and happy all the time. They're actually doing more complex emotions, just what they're going through, and the animation also shows that as well. Again, animation's gotten so much better. I so many times I can say it until I sound like a broken record, but it's true. We also get to take a look at Yang's daily life around the house with one arm. We see her sweeping the floor, we see her getting the mail, and it's just that look of just mundane life on her face. Like this is like torture for her, and it's just she's kind of dead inside at this point. And we also get an interesting scene where she's washing the dishes and she ends up dropping a cup. And as soon as it shatters, as soon as the glass shatters, she has this flashback of Adam and no doubt losing her arm. And she has like a little panic attack. And she's angry at herself for this, but we look and we see that Tai Yang saw this little attack and it just crushes him. I mean, the facial animations, it's fantastic. We cut from that and we end up heading back to the boat where we do see a little bit more of Blake on the ship being brooding as always. Blake is Team RWBY's Batman. She broods so they don't have to. We end up discovering a new species of Grimm. I do not know the name of this because unfortunately I was not able to find it, so I'm going to call it the Sea Dragon. It looks fantastic. I love it. Again, if there's one thing that can get me more excited for a new episode of RWBY, it's that we see a new species of Grimm. And not only is this thing big, people, it just looks amazing. If I had to put a finger on where I've seen this design before, it looks like an old like Chinese interpretation of a dragon. It's like, it's got it's a very long, slender, like snake-like body. It has wings, and it has I want to say that facial antenna, it kind of makes it look like he has like this long mustache, but it's for lack of a better word, that's what I describe it as. It also can breathe lightning, because that's a thing. And through this fight, we actually get the introduction of another fan favorite character. We get Sun back. So, yep, Sun has stowed away on the ship, following Blake ever since she left at the end of Volume 3. As soon as she made sure everyone was safe, they had gone. What follows is a really, really well done battle with Blake, Sun, the Grimm, and actually the ship. You can see non-huntsmen, like regular folk, actually putting up a fight against a Grimm and actually managing to do something, working together, which is amazing, because one thing that I've always worried about was, are you going to have like the superhero problem here? And what I mean by that is, like, in comic books, normal folk and like police are never able to get things done, and it's always reliant upon the heroes, like the huntsmen and huntresses here, to get these things done. And really, the series hasn't helped that stigma any bit. But as we can clearly see, there are people here who know how to defend themselves against the Grimm, even though they are not huntsmen. I mean, yes, they would have required Blake and Sun's help in order to take the thing down, but we also can see that they were the ones who ended up saving Blake and Sun at the end. So we get another cool look at Sun's semblance, creating like these light clones of himself that seems to have substance that are able to interact with not only the Grimm but Blake as well, managing to throw her up into the air in like a chain-like movement. For all the Black Sun fans, there is a little bit of flirting on Sun's part, but to be fair, the looks that I'm seeing, and again, thanks to the more dynamic range of emotion for with this new animation style, it really just doesn't look like she's interested. She's more angry at him than anything. So I think for all the Black Sun strippers, if you really want something concrete, let's wait for the next time we see them. Again, I'm not ruling anything out as of yet, and I'm not going to get into a shipping war because my last video was divisive enough. I really do not want to get into a shipping war here. We should just all respect each other's opinions until we get official confirmation. Well, even then, we should still respect other people's opinions. But I'm going on a ramble. Let's get on with it. So after the battle, we actually get a little bit of information on where she's going. Sun kind of confronts her and goes, oh, you're off to, I know why you're doing this. You think the White Fang is your problem, your fight alone. Well, I'm not going to let you do that. And Blake gets understandably very upset with him because he's an idiot. He doesn't know what he's talking about. And she doesn't outright say that she ran away. She kind of worded it in a way. She said, I believe, I have some things to sort out. And I believe the place she's going to is like menagerie, I believe is how you pronounce it. I don't want to say menagerie because that's not it, I don't think. But she's going to her home, and we're finally going to be able to see, if she has family alive. Yeah, we'll see her family. But we get a little bit of like they get into a little bit of a fight, which I find really interesting. She's like, "Oh, did you bring your team too?" He's like, "Oh no, do you think I'm gonna get Neptune on a boat?" They flew back, and I told them I'd catch up with them, and it was the first time I've ditched them to go on a boat. Obviously, calling back to when we saw him in Volume 2. So this is we get to probably the last most interesting bit, which I think is probably it makes me I'm very hard it's very hard for me to feel sympathy for Cinder, and I know that there are people who are going to want to like kill me for saying that, but at the same time it's like you always think that there's no person that can get more evil than Cinder, especially after what she did to Pyrrha, and I'm never forgiving Cinder for what she did to Pyrrha. However, I'm understandably a little bit more intimidated by Salem than I am by Cinder, especially when Cinder looks so broken at this. And we actually get a little bit of doubt on Salem's part to a claim that she made in the very first episode that Cinder killed Ozpin. And she said, she asked Cinder, like, I want to hear it from you, not from Emerald through Emerald. I want to hear it from your voice. Did you kill Ozpin? And there's a brief moment where you can see that Cinder's conflicted. And now I personally don't think that Ozpin is dead. And I believe it is connected in some way to the farm boy that was shown in the first episode. But we do hear Cinder barely rasping out a yes that she killed Ozpin, but I don't believe it. I don't think we should believe it. I think there's something more at play here that we don't know about. The episode ends with Salem giving a new chirogram that looks like a kind of a jellyfish with extra like tentacles. I would say it's floating in the air to reinforce their positions at Beacon and that the relic is there. Now, what relic they could be talking about, I'm not sure. Hopefully, we will get actually a little bit more, exposition into what the relic is than anything else by the time the next episode rolls around. And that's pretty much the end of the episode. Some really, really good emotional development for Yang and for Blake. We got the intro of Sun back, and everything's going great right now. I am so, so stoked. Again, I'm sorry that this episode came out a little bit later, guys, but I am very, very happy to announce that we have broken 1,700 subscribers. Thank you so much, guys, for all the love that you have shown to these videos and to my channel. Thank you for the likes, the comments, the subscriptions. It means so much to me that you guys care about my work, to love the content I put out there. So I will be doing another video, most likely tonight, if not tonight, tomorrow. I will be reviewing Doctor Strange. I was able to see it yesterday. I am going to do a little non-spoiler at the front, but the majority of the video will be a spoiler review. So fair warning to you now, I will remind you of this in that next video. So if you like magic, if you like fighting, if you like monsters, feel free to tune into my review of Doctor Strange. That should be coming out fairly soon. So guys, my name is Star Cinema. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, slap a like on it, comment, share with your friends, even subscribe for more content. I will be putting out RWBY videos weekly, every Sunday, and other videos and reviews will be coming out every now and then. So my name is Star Cinema. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in my next video. Take care, and have a good night.